Hello and welcome to our drawing video. My name's Vicky and today I'm going to show you how to draw the light box. All you need are a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. But if you'd like to add some colour to your artwork, then you can also grab some colouring pens or pencils. Got everything? Let's get started. This is the image I'll be using as my inspiration. I'm going to start out marking out where the stone wall is in front of the building. Then there's the windows that go along the length of the building, so I'm going to bring that along here. I can mark in some windows there. Then I'll start with the back line of the corner of the building. And then a parallel line to show the front corner of the building. Join along the top. And that's the side of the building, which is where the golden tiles will be. We'll add those in a little bit later. Next, I'll mark out the front of the building. Perspective's a bit funny on the light box. If you've been to the light box, you'll know that the building isn't really a rectangle when you look at it from the front. Just like our logo, it's a bit like a wonky square. So perspective is difficult from this angle, but looking closely at my photograph, I can mark out the roof angled slightly down as it moves away from the viewer. So we'll start at the top here. It comes as an angle down, and then we can draw the front, which is again a bit of a funny wonky angle, which comes down just like that. So there's the core shape of the building. Now to add some detail to our drawing. There's a rim of wood around the front of the building. We'll draw that in just by drawing a line on the inside, like this. There's also a panel or sort of an overhang, a wooden overhang of roof. So we can mark that in by just drawing some parallel lines a little way in from the edge. And this one comes straight down. And then we'll just add the diagonal line on the edge there. Let's add the lovely big windows now. We can add one in the top corner here. And one at the bottom here. We've got a whole panel of windows that come down like this. Name. In the windows there's a little bit that comes in. You can see a bit of wall through the window. So same as we did with the wooden border, we just add the same. Just adds a little bit of depth to the window. So now for the roof of the building. The light box was designed to be environmentally friendly and filled with natural light. So there's a lovely skylight on the roof, so we can mark that in. of window. So again, we'll just indicate those with these breakup lines here. On the side of the building, there's a tall thin window that you can see when you go to the middle landing of the stairs inside. So we'll mark that in. It's not really a rectangle, it's actually a funny shaped window, so we won't worry about being too precise on that one. Don't worry if it comes out a little wonky. Right, so there's a bush in our photo in front of the window, so we'll just roughly mark that in. Perfect. It's looking good now, but we still need a little bit of texture to the building. So let's start with the front of the building here. Like I said, there's lots of wood panels on the front of the building, so the border around here is lots of little wood panels. So we'll mark those in by drawing little individual lines. I'll speed the video up so you don't have to watch me do all of these. And then a similar thing for the panels around the border. They're quite dark, but they're not as dark as the border, so we'll just draw longer lines a little bit further apart. And then for the front of the building, we've got wooden slats. They're darker, but they're still not as dark as the rest. So we'll do those, rather than drawing lots of lines, we don't want it to look too busy on the drawing. So what I'll do is I'll just draw sort of the indication of lines, sort of more spaced out, just to give the idea that there's texture on this part of the building. Next, the famous golden tiles. I don't want to draw each individual tile. That'll take ages, and it might overwhelm the artwork as well. So I'm going to draw zigzag diagonal lines across the side of the building, like this. And this will give the indication of the tiles. That's the joy of doing a drawing rather than, you're not trying to recreate a photograph, you're not trying to produce something that's 100% accurate. You're allowed to use some artistic license. So we'll use that to our advantage here. And then to mark out individual tiles, we'll just draw some lines in between. Again, we're just giving the indication that there might be individual tiles there. Now the stone wall at the front here. It's got some metal grids on it, so we'll mark those in. And then again, same as the tiles and the wood planks, we don't want to draw every single individual stone. So what we'll do is we'll just draw individual sort of brick shapes, and that'll give the indication of there being bricks. And I'll just draw a few together. That just helps give the illusion of lots of bricks without having to draw every single one. I'll do the same on the bush on the foreground. We'll just mark in some individual sort of leaf shapes. When you're doing line drawings like this, it's often more effective to keep it simple and just mark in indications of textures. Just mark in to make these lines a little bit darker, so they're clearly panels between windows. And there you have it, you've completed your drawing of the lightbox. Now I really like this as a black and white line drawing, but maybe you'd like to add some colour, so let's give it a go. I'll speed the video up again here and come back when I've finished. And I'm done. Well done for completing your drawing of the lightbox. I'd love to see your finished pieces, so please tag us on social media with photos of your final artworks. Now you've got some building drawing ideas, what about drawing some other buildings? What about your house or a famous landmark? I'd love to see what you come up with. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye.